What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about my favorite Fuji lenses, the ones I've been using the most, the ones that I got rid of, and my most recent purchase. So let's get right into it. So the first lens on the list is the beloved 16mm 1.4. This thing is on my camera a lot, and I mean a lot. It's sharp, it's really nice. Now, the 16.2's size, obviously it's great, but I really love this thing and I don't know if I would ever get rid of it. I'm thinking of also checking out the 18mm 1.4. Seems to be really nice. So we'll see, but I'm gonna go through some pictures on the computer right now to show you what this thing is capable of. So let's switch to the computer. I don't know why it's doing two different ones, but we're gonna start here for some engagement pictures. And I love it. I love how much I can get and how close I can get to people. And if you know the lens pretty well, you're not gonna get a lot of distortion. I love it. This is just another picture from that engagement session using the 16mm. Let me put this info here for you. There it is, 16. On the XT3 body, by the way. Here's another one from the wedding day using this 16. Another one. So this was from me going out into a field and thought it would be a good idea to, shoot some horses. And as you can see, these horses are about maybe 2-3 feet away from me. And I love that it makes you feel like you're right there, as you can see here. And they were right there too. And it got a little crazy because one of them came, turned around, and started trying to beat on me. But I got out of there pretty quickly. I know. I was told I can go in there and everything was going to be good. I did get the permission. So that's that. We're not going to talk about that anymore. Here's some more from that session. And then the same people invited me to a bloodless bullfight. And again, I just love the ability to just get in there and feel like you're right there. And this lens definitely does give you that feel. And I just love it. It's also light compared to other systems. So I don't mind it at all. Here's some more. I mean, you really get in there with this lens, and I love it. So here's an example of a portrait being shot with this lens. I know a lot of people are afraid of using a wide angle, for portraits, but this is one of my main go-to lenses when it comes to portrait photography because, again, I like to be very close and just get a lot of movement in the images. In this editorial, I don't know if I did. Yeah, I did. See, that's another 16. And if you're using it correctly, you don't have to worry about being too warped. Again, same thing here. And just another portrait of that. And that's the 16. Now let's talk about the 16 on the body and how it feels. Also, I do have the metal hood on this guy. I have dropped this several times. How did this come off? So this is how the 16 feels like in the hand on the Fuji X-T3 here. And I think it's great. It's very comfortable and the weight balance on it is nice. You can hold it with one hand and just go in, close-ups, do whatever you want to do, especially if you're doing wedding or event work and there's dancing going on and you want to get in there really close with the off-camera flash or even on-camera flash and doing some, dragging the shutter and just getting some cool shots. This is a great lens to have. And I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it. I might test out some other lenses to see what's going on, but this is definitely a keeper. So now let's just move on to my next favorite lens, which is the 35mm f2. Now, I did have the 23mm and I just recently sold it just because I was not using it as much as I wanted to. I do have really nice images with it, but again, it just wasn't being utilized enough. This guy definitely gets used and abused. So let's go back to the computer here and oh, I do have some pictures of the 23 I wanted to show you guys actually. So these are some images done with the 23, and again, really nice lens, really sharp. You can get in there almost as much as the 16 and not really have to worry too much for the working. And then here again, I just got close to do some product images, and then again some portrait editorial work and another one. So it's doable. I love wide angles for editorial type of shoots. All right, let's bring up the 35 here and here as well. All right, looks like we're gonna see some engagement pictures again with the 35, 50mm equivalent-ish. Don't judge me too hard. So again, you can still feel like you're in there and you're capturing really nice stuff. You can back up a little bit to get full body shots. This is a portrait done in the studio and using the 50. This is some editorial, well, yeah. This is more like a catalog type of stuff I was doing, but again, the 50 coming in clutch. Sorry, 35mm coming in hot, and you're just able to walk a couple of feet back and forth and just get a variety of images, and it's also super sharp. So love this lens. Oh, okay, now we're going to the bullfight again. It's just fun. It's a good, safe lens, I should say. Like the safest lens you can get. It's really good. Here we did some headshot work with it, and I usually have the 50. I did get the 16-55, and we'll talk about that specifically for this kind of stuff because I wanted to have a little bit more range. But 35mm is really nice for portrait work here as well. To a different engagement session. This is San Francisco City Hall, and back again to some editorial work. And as you can see, I use the crap out of this lens. I just love it. Now let me show you guys how it feels on the camera, because it doesn't get any better than this. Super light, put it up, shoot. It's just a great lens, and I do have the metal hood for it, and I don't know if you can see, but it's dinged up because it's been dropped several times, but it's still here and it's a great lens. So let's move on to another workhorse, which is the 56 1.2. Come on, Sony. Boom, boom. Nope, it doesn't want to do it. Do it. There it is. So this is the 56 1.2, the first version, and I would love to get my hands on the second one. I really do. But this has the square hood, and it has it's written 56mm on it. It was 3D printed by one of my friends, Steven. Thanks, Steven. I'll put his what does he have? Etsy store on the bottom for you guys to check out all the cool stuff. So yeah, 56. Let's get into. All right. So here, wedding stuff. Some mixture. This is gonna be quick. So the 56, wedding. You know, you can step back a little bit with this lens, and all these are shot at 1.2. If I have I don't think I shoot any of my lenses really close down, because why? You do get a different, depth of field with the Fuji sensor because it is cropped. So shooting at f2, it's like, I think a 2.8 or a little bit up. I'm not too sure. But anyways, that's why I shoot them wide open. This is again to the horse session I was at, and I was shooting some pictures, you can get pretty nice and, you know, close and just get some cool things, and being far away, not worrying about anything. I also use it for product photography. This is another friend of mine's company. They do cannabis, full spectrum CBD. And again, it's pretty sharp. This was probably shot at f8 or 11, but it's an amazing lens. Another engagement session. This was from the one I showed you previously with, I think it was the 35mm. This, I'm on the second floor shooting down, and I have someone inside lighting them as well. From the wedding day, again, step back, just, you can, that bokeh is great on it. Just, I like it. It's a really nice lens. And then here again for some portrait work, editorial work. I'm just talking too much. But yeah, I traded this guy for, I had a 90mm, and I traded that plus some cash for it because the 90 wasn't just getting a lot of use, even at ceremonies or reception and things like that. I would always choose the 56 over the 90 just because I liked it. But the 90 is an amazing lens, a really, really nice lens, but it just wasn't the lens for me. Same with the 23. It's a great lens, but it wasn't being used too much, so that's why I got rid of it. And that's why this guy came in. This guy's gonna, I used it on a couple weddings, and it is super sharp. It is heavy though, especially on the X-T3 with the grip. It does get tiring, especially if I'm trying to do the, you know, shutter drags and stuff like that. For the dancing, it gets heavy, and that's why I rather go to the 16 1.4 for that. But for most of your day, this thing is pretty cool. Now, Sigma's 18 to 55, I believe it is. One of my friends ordered it, so I'm just waiting to see how that is. And that's just because of size. Honestly, size only, okay? And this thing's pretty nice. I don't know if I'll switch to the 18 to 50, but it has to be as good as this. And if it's not, this isn't going anywhere. So that's it for my choices of lenses when it comes to most of the type of work I do and the ones I'm keeping. Now, if I were to upgrade anything immediately, it would be this 35. I would love to get the 33 1.4. I don't mind the size or anything like that, but I think that 1.4 would be pretty dang nice, and that's what I would do. So I hope this was a little bit helpful and you got some good information out of it. So until the next video, have a good day.